Hello there, World of Tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, World of Blitz, and in today's video, I am going to be breaking into quite a bit of information. I have the stats on the Tier 9 KV-2 coming into the game. I have the stats on the BZ-176, and we're going to be breaking into a lot of vehicles like the MBTB, which is going to be a Tier 9 American Heavy. There is quite a bit to talk about in today's video, and as you read in the title, something very exciting we'll be talking about as well. So let's get into it. Now, this video we're taking a look at here is from Blitz Hub. This is actually a pretty good video just to get an idea of what the tanks look like, and it saves me the time to actually have to get these vehicles skins modded in my garage. So starting off, we have the KV-2. This is the Tier 9 KV-2 that will be coming into the game as a season reward vehicle. The testing stats in Super Test that this vehicle currently has is 630 damage on the standard AP, and it has 240 mils of AP pen. The vehicle has a 23-second reload, so very, very long reload. In fact, I'm not sure if that's base without food. My guess is that's without food. So running everything equipped, you're probably looking at more like a 19-ish second reload. But yeah, very, very long reload. We're probably looking at around 1900 to 2000 damage per minute in this style of vehicle. It has 320 mils of heat. So running calibrated, you're looking more at around 340 to 50 millimeters of pen once the calibrated update gets buffed. It's going to deal 545 damage on the heat, and it has 75 mils of high explosive pen base with 960 damage per shot. Yes, you heard that right. This thing is a true 150 millimeter. It is going to deal crazy good HE damage, which is going to make this quite a scary tank to go up against. It is literally a Tier 9 KV-2. Now, before you get worried, the thing you got to remember is that it's really down to the armor. If this vehicle doesn't have a lot of armor, it might not be that hard of a tank to deal with, and if it doesn't have any gun depression, especially against Tier 10s, it might very easily be overcome. So we're going to have to see how the vehicle actually plays in battle. I don't think it's going to be as big of a problem as, for example, the KV-2 and the Smasher at low tiers one-shotting you. What I can say is we'll notice the armor looks a lot more robust on the mantlet. That is a much stronger mantlet design, it appears. So this tank might have bolstered armor. We're just going to have to find out. We also have the TNH legendary camo that will be coming out. I'm very, very excited for that. We have the E10, the 116 F3. There's a lot. So we're going to start off with the 116 F3. In fact, why take a look at it in Blitz when we can get a better look at it on World of Tanks PC? This is the tank here. It's a very, very nice looking Chinese Tier 10 Heavy. Now, I actually know a little bit about the stats of this vehicle coming into Blitz. It's going to, at least in test, have a 490 alpha and have around 2700 DPM, which actually sounds really nice. I am personally hoping that this is an autoloader. I don't think it's going to be, but I really hope it is, because on PC, this is the only autoloading Chinese Heavy, like in high tiers. It features a 3-shell 530 alpha autoloader. But what I can tell you is that it will have a high alpha. This tank has a 130 style millimeter cannon on PC, so it is most likely going to feature a similar style cannon in Blitz. It has very solid armor on PC. The turret is incredibly strong. Think of it as 50 TP prototype levels, and it actually has very strong hull armor as well, even the lower plates upwards of 250. I don't think the armor is going to be as robust in Blitz, but I'm very excited for that. Mobility wise, it is decently fast, going 44. I am running a turbo, so more like 40 kilometers per hour top speed, but still pretty decent. I think this is going to be a really, really cool tank to come into Blitz, and as you can see from the video, it does look pretty dang cool as well, especially with PBR and everything. So yeah, this will be a rather interesting tank to see come into the game. Will this be the Blitz Fair reward tank? Very likely. I don't know any other Tier 10s that are in test as of right now. I think there's one other, but I'm not remembering it at this moment. But to what I'm aware, that's probably going to be the Blitz Fair reward vehicle. We also have the MBTB, which is one of the weirdest looking tanks in the game. This is going to be a Tier 9 American Heavy. Yeah, the video actually says this is a Tier 10, but no, I'm 99% confident it's going to be a Tier 9. And we can actually take a look at the MBTB's overall characteristics on PC as of now. The vehicle has 2600 DPM base, 40 km per hour top speed, 420 alpha, decent accuracy. It's kind of just like an E5 gun, on a tier 9 heavy. I mean, that's what it seems like. It's got pretty good heat pen, 330 mils on the heat. So the overall tank's gun seems pretty average American, which is what we can expect to see in Blitz. Probably something similar to that of a TL7 gun. But looking at the armor, this is where the vehicle becomes very weird. The upper plate, 300 millimeters. This part, 320, 330. Even loading 330 mils of heat. Like, look at this thing's armor. That is ridiculously strong. Now, the lower plate's pretty weak, only about 190, so you'll easily pen that. And the other thing you'll notice is the way the armor works. Dead on, it's very strong, but if you angle the tank at all, these little, you know, angular bits actually become very big weak spots. And it's also got these little corner cutouts. It's got a big old weird hatch that sticks out, but if you hit the actual turret anywhere, it's very strong. It has 10 degrees of gun depression, which means you can hide a lot of these weak spots, but yeah, really, really weird armor. I'm very excited to see how this tank is actually going to come into the game, because it looks really funky. It's going to be a pain to shoot hull down, though, I'll tell you that, because that weak spot is going to be very hard to hit at a distance, you know, like this. I don't know. It looks interesting, though. I'm actually really, really excited for it. So the MBTB is going to be a very, very cool American heavy. And then we have this, the BZ-176. This tank is obviously going to be quite dangerous. And you know what's interesting? It's not going to be a tier 8. It's going to be a tier 9. Yeah, you heard that right. It's weird in that regard. You'll notice just how wide this thing is as well. Look at the size of it. Now, that could be just the scaling on the person who put this into the game. I don't think the tank's going to be this large. I mean, this is literally ground tank levels of thickness here in the video. I don't think it'll be this big. But let's take a look at what the BZ-176 stats are going to be. We have 2,000 DPM. Pretty poor. That will make it pretty low for heavies, but I'm not sure if this is with running the vehicle fully equipped. I would guess it is, because calibrated is on in these stats here. So we see 2,000 DPM, and that is because it has a 26-second reload. Now, when I first looked at this, I was like, wait a sec. It's got a 26-second reload and 560 damage per shot. How does it have 2,000 DPM? Well, that's because it's an autoloader. Yes, you heard that right. The Caliban is not an autoloader, but Wargaming pulled an Uno reverse and made the BZ-176 an autoloader. So this tank has a 2-shell clip with a 6-second intro clip that deals 560 damage. So, in 6 seconds, this vehicle is able to dump out 1,120 potential damage. That actually makes this one of the most dangerous tanks in the game. You know, if we look at a vehicle like the M5Yo, it deals 900 damage in 2 seconds. Okay, we look at the Object 752. It deals 880, 70 damage in, you know, 4-ish seconds, you know, if you add in the aiming time and everything. So this tank, with its 6 seconds, is quite dangerous. I think this is going to be a very, very scary thing to fight. There's not many tanks that deal 1,200 damage. The only other tank that deals similar damage to this in the same amount of time would be that of an AMX 5120 and a ML2. But this tank actually appears to have very good armor, so we'll have to see how the armor will be, because on World of Tanks PC, this thing has a tier 8, has incredible frontal protection, and it features very good gun depression. But in Blitz, it's only going to have 6 degrees of gun depression. When we take a look at the rest of the shells, 345 mils of heat, very good pen. It's got 490 damage per shot, so pretty mediocre. 690 on the HE, though, that's really dangerous, especially with the 70 mils of pen. It is going to be able to cut through armor pretty nice with the high explosive. It has 4.5 seconds of aiming time, 0.407 dispersion, so yeah, the gun is pretty bad, but it's going to deal a lot of damage. It's really down to the armor and mobility, which is going to make this tank strong. I guess we're going to have to find out. But the tank looks very cool, and yeah, a lot of people thought it was an April Fool's joke. The BZ-176 is coming into the game. It is not. This tank is coming into the game. As I always say, I don't lie to you guys when it comes to content coming out. But yeah, this is going to be quite interesting. I don't think there's anything else to really talk about in this video. We do have the KV-2, we got the Death Star. I don't know the stats of this tank, but it looks to me like the Death Star, which is what it's literally called, does not have that large of a gun. That looks to be like a maybe 300 damage shot tank destroyer. So it'll be interesting to see how this vehicle is balanced in tier 8. I'm really excited for this, though, the E10. Do you see the gun it has? That looks to be a very high alpha gun. That looks to be the E100 gun. Very similar to it, that's what I will say. I doubt Wargaming's going to give this vehicle a 600 damage shotgun. But it would not surprise me if this vehicle did deal over 400, which is really exciting for a tier 7. Maybe this will be the new Smasher. The armor also looks like it's going to be quite robust on this vehicle. I mean, we can take a look at the armor, and yeah, it looks quite strong. The upper plate's probably going to be decent, but that turret is very large, so depending on how well armored that turret is, could change the overall tank. We have the, I'm just going to say it, the shit barn camo. I mean, you have to call it that. It's literally the name of the tank. This camo is going to be epic. There's literal chickens on the back of it. I mean, this camo is epic. Great job from Wargaming there. It's very rare that Wargaming makes something that I'm really excited for when it comes to a camo. And yeah, this I'm really excited for. We have the Rinoceronte camo, which, I don't know, looks kind of mid, I'm not going to lie. They did such a good job with the 4005 camo, and then they released this. That's my reply. Really mid. Chieftain Mark 6 camo. Now this looks really good. Somebody said this is actually a realistic camo based off of some sort of historical event, which is cool. I like that. And, I mean, this camo looks amazing. Somebody pointed out this could be for the Chieftain Proto down in Tier 9, but it's not. It's going to be for the Tier 10, which is really disappointing. But the camo still looks very, very cool. Then we have the TNH camo, and I actually really like this camo. I think this looks sick. I already know there's going to be people in the comments saying, well, this isn't a historical camo, so I don't like it. Well, as I always say, this is a mobile game meant for people ranging from around 15 to probably 20 years old, and a lot of the audience is probably younger than that, so I don't know what to tell you. You're playing a game on a phone meant for children, and you're getting mad that Wargaming is making camos that younger audiences will like. I like the camo. I think it's sick. If you want realistic camos, just don't play World of Tanks Blitz. I don't know what else to tell you. Don't get mad at Wargaming for making content for their demographic. But the TNH 105 is a really, really cool camo. I actually really like the design of this. It almost looks like a cartoon, which I think is sick. I hope they do more things like this in the future. Either way, these are all the little things that I thought I would mention coming into the game. But there's one other picture we have to take a look at here. See what that says right there? Yeah, the title of today's video is not clickbait. 10 versus 10 game mode is coming into the game. You heard that right. For the 10th anniversary of Blitz, Wargaming is bringing this game mode out. And I'm actually really excited because I've been saying, and a lot of people have been saying, that 10 versus 10 might be a cool way to balance the matchmaker in the future. And I think it would be a really cool way to, bring a little bit of spice into Blitz. So Wargaming is trying out 10 versus 10 as a game mode. I don't think it'll ever come into the game as like an actual, this is now the new meta, but it is really cool that 10 versus 10 is coming into Blitz. I know a lot of you are probably excited for this. I am really excited for this. Most likely Wargaming's going to be announcing this on a live stream later sometime this upcoming week or month. So I'm sorry, Wargaming, that I have shared the news a little bit early. But, yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff either way. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. As always, if you'd like to see more content like this in the future, especially, I'm the only content creator that gets this content out early. So make sure you subscribe to the channel for this stuff. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.